Today is February 6th, and welcome back to part 2, where throughout this month, every Monday at 1 p.m., we will release one short audio recording to help us process racial tension in America. In our first episode, I briefly shared and encouraged us to take hold of Martin Luther King Jr.'s words and to become a people who do not prefer a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. Today, I want to briefly explore with you why a truly multicultural and multi-ethnic church beyond tokenism is so difficult. A few years ago, I received a phone call from a church in Texas. The church was looking for a reference as they were looking to onboard a pastor. At the end of the call, they asked me, "Is there anything else you want to tell me about the candidate?" I said yes, since the candidate is a second-generation Korean American. Don't be surprised if you need to invite and be more intentional about providing space for him to speak. Because generally, Eastern cultures are more indirect, focusing on how it is said, versus Western culture, which is more direct, where the focus is on what, not how it is said. After I finished my sentence, the caller responded by saying, "Oh, I would have never thought about that." Soong-Chan Rah in Many Colors, Cultural Intelligence for a Changing Church, shares 5 cultural expressions that we need to identify to navigate towards a multicultural and multi-ethnic church. As you think about these generally true expressions, I want us to not only notice how the sum of both parts paints the best picture, but which expressions your faith community might be missing. Western culture is generally focused on guilt, responsible for individual sin, equality, self-directed, individual orientation, which takes or values individual initiative, direct, focuses on what, not how it is said, task, focus on keeping good time. Where Eastern culture is generally focused on shame, responsible for corporate sin, hierarchy, group orientation, indirect, focuses on how it is said, and relationship focuses on building relationships. Imagine the complexities associated with navigating these differences with just one person. Now imagine adding on to these complexities the diversity of language and worship style and food, cultural etiquette, and other external factors. And then on top of this, add on the racial history of America, and it is here where we find the most segregated hour is at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. Call me naive, but I still believe that with hard, messy, and sacrificial work, a genuine multicultural church movement is attainable. But I also recognize that I speak from a second-generation Korean American privileged point of view. But I do want to continue to dream. What would happen if every single one of us who identify with Jesus not only processed our cultural heritage, acknowledging that the sum of both parts is the best picture, but continually asked one another these questions? What part of your cultural heritage do you want us to know about and teach us about? How can I sacrifice my own comfort to serve and love you better? What areas in my life do I have cultural blinders on that need to be identified and transformed? In what areas can I leverage my platform to welcome and honor you? In what ways do I need to say that I am sorry and make reparations? A multicultural and truly multi-ethnic church that goes beyond tokenism is hard work. But what alternative do we have? For Galatians 3:28 is much better than the current reality of our 11 o'clock Sunday morning. Hey friends, my name is John Ju, and I help pastor 168 Church in the greater Chicago area. If this resource has been helpful, or if it stirred anything in your heart, we would love to hear from you. Simply find us on our socials, 168 Church, or connect with us by sending us a message at info@168cc.org.